Okay, hi everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for patiently waiting as we were getting things prepped on our end here. Welcome to Rebuilding with Resilience. We have a special guest today, Dennis Young of Sierra Pacific Windows. Lori and Andre Noel are at our Yosemite property. I was just there over the weekend and I got to actually see the Sierra Pacific windows and doors in person, and they're beautiful. So I'm really excited for you guys to get to learn more directly from them. With that said, we'll get it moving. We're going to do a few introductions. We're going to talk about our non-combustible construction, our streamlined process that is tailored specifically for fire survivors. Sierra Pacific is going to give a lovely overview, and then we are going to do a live Q&A. If you've been here before, you know how it goes. Feel free to message at any time, open in the room or directly to me, and I'll be monitoring that as we go along. I'll try to interject questions as it fits, or we'll just answer them at the end, and we always answer everyone's questions. We don't leave anyone behind. I just like to start off this meeting with our mission, which is forever homes for everyone. Our homes are not only non-combustible, but they are net zero and they don't have pest or rot, or they're just homes that last forever. And so we're here to do that for you. We are a design build company. That means that we're going to design this home and build it for you, and we're going to control every step of the process to make it as easy as it can be. I'll introduce you to our team. Lori Fisher is our CEO and founder, and you'll see her sitting over there by Andre Noel. She has 25 years experience as an architect. She's been building very similar houses and learning this method until she finally decided to start Phoenix. And the next slide, she'll tell you a little bit more about that journey. She's an expert in fire-resistant design. She's been working with ICF concrete forms since 2011, I believe. I'm Sarah. I am the COO in strategic communications, and I monitor and manage a lot of our client coordination and how we do that. That is our client care and service expertise. Kendra is on the line. Kendra is our senior home designer. If you're designing homes with us, you've definitely been working with her. 20 plus years of award-winning experience transforming spaces, and she just designs absolutely stunning homes. Adam Joel is our permitting coordinator. He's not here today, but he is a certified building official. He has certified and approved Phoenix homes. So he knows the ins and outs, and he knows how to work directly with permitting regulations and navigating that approval process. So just a great guy to have in our pocket to help us with that. Andre Noel, who you'll see there next to Lori, is our construction supervisor, and he's quality control, and he is amazing. He pays attention to every little detail of the house. He makes sure nothing passes without flying colors. And we call him the miracle worker because that's basically what he does. So another part of our team is Carla. She's our client care coordinator. Some of you may have spoken with her, and she's kind of that dedicated client advocate that's available at any time to answer questions. And you'll see down at the bottom some logos. These are just are the companies that we work with, and that comes standard in every Phoenix home. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Lori just to give you a brief overview of how she got started here at Phoenix.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you everybody for joining us today. These webinars have been really beneficial, I think. It's an opportunity for us to share what we do, but it's also a great opportunity for you to ask any questions and help you understand what we do a little bit better. So as Sarah was saying, yes, I've been an architect for almost 30 years. And I started working with ICF since 2011. I'm trained in crisis intervention and trauma-informed care due to some volunteer work I was doing working with victims of violent crime. And I started working with fire survivors in Santa Rosa in 2018 after the Tubbs fire. And that was where I realized, wow, we really need to find a solution, because it was just heartbreaking to see what you survivors go through. It's not bad enough that you just lost everything, but then the design and construction process is so traumatic too. So we set out to change it, and that's Phoenix. That's our mission, really, is to build forever homes for everyone and get you back in your home as soon as possible. So, what do we do specifically? We are the only home builder in the United States building wood-free Type 1A non-combustible homes per code. And what does Type 1A mean, and what is truly non-combustible? So we have this great fact sheet that you can download on our website that really gets into details if you want to nerd out on it, like I sometimes like to do. But there's 5 types of construction in the code. Type 5 is combustible, fully combustible, and that's what every single home is built as. Even multifamily buildings are Type 5. The other Type 4 and 3 are somewhat non-combustible, but somewhat combustible. The only 2 types that are truly 100% non-combustible is Type 1 and 2. And we go even further. We go Type 1A, which has the highest ratings of fire resistance. And the only buildings that are built in Type 1A are like skyscrapers and hospitals and like big multiplex cinemas and things like that, where, it's kind of dangerous. It can be a hazard for a lot of people if there is a disaster or a fire in a building like that. So if it's safe enough for high rises, we're happy to build your home to those same standards, essentially. And so basically the way we're able to do this, sometimes people think like, oh my God, you're doing Type 1A, concrete and steel, it must be so much more expensive. And it's not. When we set out to develop, to create a Type 1A Phoenix home, there would be no point in doing it if it wasn't going to be affordable. We could not make it more expensive than wood stick builds. And here's the thing, we don't have to. I understood that if we understand the materials that we're using, optimize them to their full capacity, then we can save money in the long run, because of all the other steps that we're skipping, that we don't have to deal with because we're not in a traditional wood stick construction. So I think if you want to go ahead. And so, by the way, that was our patent pending Phoenix long span system. And so you can see here the comparison in schedules between a Phoenix home and, traditional stick built homes. We save a lot of time, namely in the roof, because the Phoenix long span system gets basically installed in a day, and that's all of our roof framing. And if it's a multi-story home, that's all the floor framing as well. And then we use all-weather insulated panels for our roof, and those panels install in one day as well. And that basically replaces the plywood and the insulation and all those other steps. So we don't have to have all of those inspections and all of that time. And time saves money, and it's less labor. So, so we basically economize in all these areas, and that's how we can come in at the same cost, or even less than traditional construction. And believe it or not, we even go beyond Type 1A because the building code really, the building code cares about getting people out of a fire in time. It's about life safety. It's about saving lives. It's not about saving your home. It's not about saving the building. It's about saving lives. So it's never really addressed fire from the outside coming in like a wildfire. And so basically we've taken type 1A and made it, more wildfire resistant, if you will. So type 1A only requires 4-hour fire rated walls on the exterior. Our walls are 3 hours, I'm sorry. Our walls are 4-hour rated. Type 1A has no requirement whatsoever as to what your windows, which we'll be talking about today, are required to be made out of. But we made sure that our windows are non-combustible and durable from the exterior. So those are additions. We also have no roof vents. There's no roof penetrations other than 1 or 2 plumbing vents. And so we really eliminate the opportunity for any sort of ember intrusion because we don't have an attic, and there's nowhere, that a spark could even get in our house, much less combust or burn anything. And so here, I think I'm going to hand it off to Kendra. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what custom home design truly is. I think a lot of people are more familiar with, like, subdivisions and tract home developments where, there's maybe several different pre-designs, and then you get to go and pick your flooring and your tile, or maybe you get to modify the floor plan a little bit and convert a bedroom to an office or something like that. Sometimes they call that custom, but it's not. Truly custom design means that we learn about you, we learn about your lifestyle, who's in your family, how do you live? And we design a home that is custom tailored to you. And one thing that's really interesting that I've found, at least over my career, is that, each home I've ever designed is there's something maybe a little quirky about it. And, somebody else sees it, oh, well, that's weird. And it's like, well, it's not your house. So we really do. We design the home just for you and for your needs. So that's really, I think, also unique to our system. So it's not modular or anything. But I think I will pass it on to Kendra. If Kendra, are you ready to take from here?
Yep.
Okay. Take it away.
Thanks, guys. So I love what I get to do, and I know that most of you are not necessarily in this position because you want to be in this position, but the work that we get to do together, we want you to get excited about what this home is going to be. I think the next slide might talk about the phase. Or not yet, but that's fine. So just in the beginning of the project, and we'll talk about the phases of the project, but we initially just want you to get excited about what it is we are going to build with you. And it's going to be custom and it's going to be tailored to you specifically. So we start out with a first 2-hour kickoff call where hopefully you have kind of grabbed some images of things that you love and really thought through some of the things about your home that you loved and the things that maybe you wanted to improve, because this is an opportunity for us to dive deep and on our discovery call of 2 hours, find out all those things that will help us then develop the design of your home. These are some of the renderings and images of what we get to. But so like I mentioned, that design kickoff is the first big call that we have with you guys. And then we're going to take all that information that you give us, the things that you love, the things that you wanted to improve upon, and some inspiration images and anything else that you've collected along the way. And we will put that into the design of your home. And that initial concept that we're going to have on our very first design call with you is going to be a full home with 3D, not the materials, but all the spaces, everything that you can walk through and see on your actual site. So you get a really good understanding of what that first initial house design is going to look like. And we'll typically go back and forth maybe a couple of times with revisions to really tweak and fine tune that design for you guys. So once we get to a place where you have signed off on that concept, then we're going to get into what you can see as the construction documents phase. And once we start working on the construction documents, we won't need your input as much for a period of time. But it's once we get to permitting and we submit those drawings to permitting, then you will see me again, and we will work together on all the interiors. So all the finishes, all of the things that make the inside come to life. So that's kind of how we work very efficiently and streamlined, so that we're not wasting any time while it's in permit and we don't have anything that we can do with the drawings. We're working with you on the interiors. So we are very excited to start working with you guys. And yeah, then we get into the build. So you want to take this over again, Lori, or do you want me to keep going?
Okay, sorry about that. My touch screen wasn't working for some reason. No, I can take it from here. Thank you, Kendra. That was awesome. So here's something that people ask a lot, quite often, and what's your per square foot cost? And it's a really difficult question to answer because, and it's really for this reason here. You might think that, oh, it's because of finishes, or we don't know if we're going to have dowel tile or imported Italian tile, but that's not even what I'm talking about. We have, without even looking at that, I would just like to share with you guys, this is the same home with the same budget, the same finishes, everything is the same, but these are 3 different ways of calculating the square footage. So a lot of you will say, oh, I have a 2,600 square foot home. And then we ask, oh, does that include your garage? And you say no. And we're like, okay, so you have a 3-car garage. So you really have a 3,200 square foot home or more, and then we need to also look at what we call the total built square footage, which includes decks and covered patios too, because decks and covered patios are expensive. They're just as, they're almost as costly as any other interior space. So, we can't think of, we have to think about everything that we have to build. Typically, a contractor will look at the built square footage, which is the entire envelope to the exterior face of the wall. And so here's the thing, if you look at the table down below, look at the different per square foot costs, and this is literally the same house with the same budget, right? So that's why we're very, very sensitive about throwing out square footage numbers willy-nilly like that, because we don't want to give you a number and have you put that number to the Zillow square footage. Then we're going to be in trouble, right? So that's important. Now, on the other hand, when we are preparing that estimate for you, we do use a square foot per square foot number that's kind of a gauge. It keeps us in the realm of, if we're putting together an estimate and I see the per square foot number is a little too high or a little too low, then I'm going to say, ooh, I might be forgetting something. So it's kind of a nice check, as we're moving forward. And if we see it's running a little high or running a little low, then there is something that we need to look at. But in general, it's really hard to just say, oh, your house is going to cost X per square foot. And then talking about cost and estimates and quotes. So this is always a really tough subject. It's hard for people to understand. This is a home, a building is really the only thing that you're buying that doesn't exist yet. And I mean, it doesn't exist anywhere. It's never been built before. So when we're starting out, we've got this home design feasibility process. Like with us, like we're going to want to, have a Zoom with you. We're going to have some phone calls with you. We're going to talk about what your previous home was. We're going to talk about your funding, what your budget is, and what your wish list is. And we'll give you an idea right off the bat, if it's reasonable or not, if it's realistic or not. If you've got a $2 million wish list and a $1 million budget, then we'd have to talk about that. And we can talk about that early on. We absolutely can to kind of get you dialed in, but it's still, there's no detail in there. So that's why this funnel diagram is really useful, because at the top, we're talking about real broad brush kind of stuff, you know, like, okay, you know, loosey goosey. Yes. You know, what you want for how much money you have. Yes, maybe, no, you know. But so once we get that feasibility dialed in, and, you know, we start working, if you engage us, then we start working on the home design concept, and we start drilling in with a little bit more detail into that estimate. Now, it's still not a quote. There's two reasons for that. One is, at that design level, that home design concept level, there's just simply not enough detail to put together a quote. So that's number one. But number two is that we don't know when we're going to break ground. We hope we're going to break ground, you know, in 4 to 6 months, but we don't know that for sure. And even if we did know it for sure, nobody has a crystal ball. You know, even Apple and Ford have stopped doing their quarterly shareholder projections because the economy is so crazy right now. So, so especially in construction, which is so much more volatile than many other markets. So basically, this estimate is a rough estimate for the moment, for the level of detail that we have. And so then, as you see, as we get into the build plans, we start getting finer and finer and finer. And so when we're ready to submit for permit, we can give you another estimate. And again, it's not going to be a quote, okay? Because we're not ready to start construction yet. So we can't quote it until we're ready to start. But our estimates can get a little more detailed. And then when we move into plan check and we get your permit and we're ready to build, that's when you get the actual cost, that contract, that quote. And that's really the only time that you're going to know for sure how much your home is going to cost. And that is across the universe of design and construction. And so what we try to do at PHNX is make this a lot more easier to navigate, a lot more easier to digest, a lot more easier for you to be able to make informed decisions. And so this estimate that we provide you in that early design phase, it's unique. No one else provides you with that. And it's basically, you have to think of it more as a design tool. It's a signal, you know, that, okay, we're doing okay, or, oof, you know, maybe we've got too much house and we've got to dial it back a little bit. Because it's better to have, you know, that come up in that early design phase than it is to have it come up after you've spent all this money and you have a permit in your hand and you're expecting to break ground. And then all of a sudden you're surprised, which happened all the time with the fire survivors I was working with in Santa Rosa. And it was a real problem. And so that was why it was part of our goal, putting together this company to serve almost exclusively fire survivors, to be able to give you this estimate up front, so that if there are serious design changes to make, we can help you with that. Sorry, I went on a little bit about that.
It's okay.
Oh. And here we go to Sierra Pacific. Now, I've known Dennis Young for, oh, I don't know, at least 15 years, I think. And he's been a great ally and a great colleague. And Sierra Pacific windows are the only windows I used as an architect. I mean, I tried other brands a couple of times, but always went back to Sierra Pacific. Clients loved them even years later, and they were the only choice for PHNX. And so we're really happy to have Dennis here to talk about Sierra Pacific windows. And take it away, Dennis.
Thanks, Lori. Hello to everybody out there. Happy Monday afternoon. Thanks for the kind words, Lori. I don't know what to say to that, but we've known each other a while. Just as a brief background on me as possible, I've been with Sierra Pacific about 19 and a half years now.
Yeah.
I am with the Architectural Services Division. Part of my job is to go out and harass Lori and others in the architectural field to expose them to our products, what we can do, what we can't do, but again, give them an idea of what our systems are capable of. I know we're here to talk about fire resistance. I'm going to talk on that in a second, but just a few things on the company so you know who we are. If you've never heard of us, shame on me, but you will now. But we've been in business unofficially, Sierra Pacific Industries, since about 1929, and then have built and built and built and built over the years to come who we are today. As a window manufacturer, we have 5 manufacturing plants around the United States. We manufacture only in the United States, but we do distribute globally. I don't think any other slides here, Sarah, we can skip to. And yeah, fascinating there. If you think, okay, windows and doors, whoopsie. Sierra Pacific Industries, the parent company of Sierra Pacific Windows, who I work for, we sustainably manage about 2.6 million acres of forest land in the US, and primarily, or pretty much exclusively at the moment, California, Oregon, and Washington. That's where our forest lands are. We are a firm believer in sustainability and control. For us, it's chain of custody, chain of command. So what we do, I'm not going to go through the whole circle there, but basically it's our product from the seed to the job site and on. But it's very important. It's Sierra Pacific Industries. It's our wood in our windows. We can click along a little further if you would like. Yeah, that's perfect, Sarah. The 2 places I really want to focus on is the aluminum. We manufacture aluminum-clad wood window and door systems. And the framing on those windows and doors is 62 thousandths of an inch. And that means nothing to you other than when you compare that to what is known as rolled form aluminum. That's what you get when you buy a Coke can. That's rolled form, and that's in around 10 to 15 thousandths of an inch. So my only suggestion when you look at other fine window and door companies, see what they use. We only use extruded aluminum, 62 thousandths for our frame and our windows. But on the door panels, we ramp that up to 75 thousandths of an inch because we know the type of abuse that they take. So again, it's extruded. You cannot roll form it. If you're fortunate enough to get into one of our showrooms, or Lori has a sample, you'll bring a Coke can with you. Or if it's after hours, your beverage of choice, I don't care. But compare the two. We cannot advocate strongly enough for extruded aluminum on the exterior. Not only for strength, not only to take golf balls or whatever else life's going to give us, hail, but also for fire. It holds up exceptionally well to fire. Combine that with the insulated glaze unit, which is WUI compliant. We temper one of the panes of glass to meet WUI codes. We have no problems meeting WUI codes with our products. And I know there's one nice little tidbit there. It has nothing to do with fire, but we factory finish our aluminum. We do it, Sierra Pacific, at our plants with 2605 polymer coatings. That means nothing to you other than that's the top that you can get in our industry, and it's a powder coat. What that allows us to do is provide a 30-year warranty on that powder coating. If you compare that against an aluminum system, where it's probably anodized, either a mill finish, kind of nice silver, or a dark anodized look, if you can find something more than a 5-year, you should be doing very well. But we're just very proud. We need these to perform. We have very robust warranties. Or as thermal, Title 24, Cal Green, no problem meeting those at all, no matter where your home is situated. Anything, yeah, and then again, back to our warranty. It's in a nutshell, or a fine cone for us, I guess. 30-20-10, it's 30 years on the powder coat, 20-year warranty on the IG unit, the glazed unit, 10 years on everything else. So it's a very robust warranty. It'd be hard pressed to find something as strong as that. As a company, we've been around a long time because of what we do, because we sustainably manage all these forest lands. We voluntarily comply with third-party restrictions and compliance. And that one of those requirements of many is that we have a 100-year business plan in place. So not only have we been around a long time, and Lori can attest, I've been around a long time, but as a company, we plan to be around a very long time supporting these products in the construction phase, and also as your ownership goes further. And lastly, on fire. Again, all these forest lands that we have, Lori has all the information on our company, on our products. We manufacture window and door systems, but I'll send it again, a real nice press release on our very recent partnership with the federal government on establishing fire breaks, and what we've done in the past and going forward. I think you'll greatly appreciate our efforts on that behalf as well. But I want to thank all of you for tuning in, and thank again Lori for inviting me. Really appreciate that. And any questions on the product, please reach out to Lori, and she can get a hold of me. And she sadly knows how to do that. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, we do have a question in the chat. It
Yes.
says, do you install or does the builder install?
Either or, but with residential work, 99% of what I see, the contractor installs. There are many commercial projects, and they're a whole different animal than custom residential. But to answer the question a little more directly, the contractor would do the installation.
Are they warranted either way?
Yes.
Well, and here's one of the things that I love about Sierra Pacific is that one of the things that makes them unique is that they don't have vendors. So with, I think, all of the other window manufacturers, you're talking to vendors. And in my experience, there's good vendors, but there's a lot of bad ones too. And their interest is in making a profit. And so they're going to recommend whatever window to you that they can make the most money on. And whether or not they're a window expert, we don't really know. Whether or not they're going to stand behind that window product, we don't know. And it just means that there's this third person in the mix. And that's not how it is with Sierra Pacific. We buy the windows directly from the manufacturer. They come out and they service the windows. So like here, even though we're up in the mountains and it's really far, we're scheduling a team to come in and do, so like when we're nearing completion, What Sierra Pacific does is they come in and they fine tune all the hardware. They make sure all of the windows are operating properly. They install the screens. And then if anything is kind of defective or not working right, they replace it.
Yeah.
You know, and so they really stand by their projects.
And so these windows do have wood inside of them, and that does meet the type 1A requirements, correct?
Yeah, and so that's basically back to what I was saying, is that there's no specification in the code, even like with the WUI standards, there's nothing that says what your windows have to be made of. So unbelievably, you could spend all this money on hardening your home and put vinyl windows in it. And in a fire, they melt, and then, you know, you're out of luck. So what we're interested in is because otherwise windows are structural. If you're already dealing with a fire on the inside of your house, for one thing, we have sprinklers on the inside. So, you know, we have sprinklers there because you've got contents in your house that can burn, right? So if a candle spills on a rug or on your couch or something, then it catches on fire. So it's pretty, if one of these windows were to somehow burn from the inside, which I really just can't imagine how that would happen. But even if it did, it would not structurally affect the building at all. In a wood structure, it would, but our walls are concrete. So like all of the windows are in concrete walls. What we're really concerned about is fire from the exterior. So, you know, I think Dennis probably talked about their higher grade of aluminum and the fact that they're fully powder coated after the profiles are cut. So you don't see a lot of those like raw aluminum burrs that you see on all the other aluminum clad windows. So Sierra Pacific, as far as being fire resistant, oh my gosh, they're so ahead of the game as opposed to the other competitors' products. And basically what I like to say with regards to the wood-free thing anyways, is that you can have wood in your home as long as you can touch it and see it. You know, that's just an interior finish. That's fine. It's what we don't want is we don't want wood that is the core of your house. That you know, when it's the structure of your home, that's where we have the problems. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think that was perfect. Well, that really wraps us up for today, a few minutes early. Does anyone have any questions, more questions? We will take them. Just as a reminder, these are recorded and we do post them on our YouTube. It's at PHNX Home on YouTube. So you can go back and see previous webinars and see other of our vendors promoting their stuff and what we use. So with that.
Okay. Well, I'd really like to thank Dennis for taking time to join us. And really, their windows are really fantastic. And
There's some right behind you, right?
yes, yes. So you have to look here. We're almost done with this house. We had a final inspection today. We have a couple of minor corrections, but we're working through them. And I'm staying up here until this house passes inspection, final inspection. So it should be, you know, hopefully in a week, we hope. But anyways, it's really looking beautiful, and we're super excited. And we're really happy to, you know, we've anyways, I'm very
You've had a long day, Lori. You've been in inspection all day.
well. I mean, do you guys want to just do a little tour maybe?
I think that would be amazing.
Okay. So is everybody still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, Sarah, do you want to take down the slideshow?
Yeah, thank you. I can do that.
Okay, and so then I'm gonna turn my camera around.
I'm always like not sure.
Oh, there's some boxes. Okay. Oh, shit. Sorry, just spilled. So I'm gonna go outside.
I never know how to cancel my screen share. Hang on. Oh, let's see. There we go. Okay.
There's our van. Oh, so you can.
I think we're having a little bit of connection issues.
Oh,
Slightly. You're back again now.
okay. Yeah, because we do have internet now. It's just when we go outside, we lose it a little bit. So these are the doors. So obviously things are pretty dirty, right? We haven't had a chance to clean up yet.
This is a lot different. If you saw our walkthrough, was it early this year? And I think you could see the exposed beams at that point. So I had been there in November and I just came this weekend. So it was just so drastically different and beautiful to see.
And maybe if some of you saw our, I'll take you downstairs in a little bit, but maybe if you saw a past webinar with View Rail Stairs, we talked about their stairs a little while back. Washroom, laundry room.
Oh, the vanity's up. Yeah, this is a small guest bedroom on the main floor.
So you can see the thermostat from above. So in the guest bedroom, they can go ahead and set whatever temperature they want. And it's just for their room. And then we have another unit for the living area out here. And so here we are.
It's a really large, beautiful patio. Just so much space. And this is a double decker patio. There's one underneath off the.
Dennis talk about the quad sliders.
Oh yeah, those quad sliders are gorgeous.
Right. So this is a 9-foot 2-panel slider. And look at all that glass that we got. Okay. And then so imagine if you've got a pair of those, so another pair of those sliders mirrored on the other side. So that's basically their quad slider. And so that would make an 18-foot opening, and the 2 panels in the center then slide open. And the benefit with this is, for one thing, you're going to save about $25,000 over like a multi-slide or a rifle door. You also get a screen, which you can't have with those other products. And then you have the sill. Now, I know a lot of people want, that flush sill, but you give up so much. You give up so much because, for one thing, it's really tough to get a warranty on that because there will always be water and dust coming in underneath that door. And, it's really not that big. I mean, I just walked out, right? Everybody is used to stepping over a sill on this one. So, and you still get an 18-foot glazed opening. And so here we've got basically, I think, 17-foot ceilings, 18-foot ceilings, and this space from end to end is 40 feet. And this is one of the greatest things about Phoenix is that because of our Phoenix long span system, we can stand up to 32 feet and we can space our joists 8 feet on center. So we don't need any interior bearing walls. So all of those walls back by the bathroom and the laundry room and everything, none of those are low bearing. And so here we'll go down the girls here. And so this is actually the part of
We're losing your audio. This is a daughter's bedroom. Lori, if you can hear us, we can't hear you. But I can kind of walk you through it as she's showing. There's two bedrooms downstairs. This is the second bedroom, and across the way is the master.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
here,
there you are.
oh, sorry.
It's okay. We lost your audio for a minute.
Okay, and so yes, here's the primary suite. And you know, so a couple mirrors, lovely shower, water closet, very big walk-in closet. And this I really want to show you guys is our mechanical room. And I know it's like to really geek out on it, you know. So this is a really important part of Phoenix, okay? So this is our hybrid electric water heater. It's a heat pump, and it's super efficient. And what's cool is it uses the ambient heat in the air to help heat the water. And what happens is, you know, because we've actually been staying here now as we finish up the home, it's a wonderful opportunity because for the first time in my career, I get to basically commission a house. So I'm using everything and I'm seeing the performance and I am blown away. It is exceeding my expectations. And so this water heater, oh my gosh, when the door is closed and everybody's like, you're making dinner, people are taking showers or whatever, this room is like 55 degrees because that hot water heater actually cools the air. It's insane. So it's like a great place to put wine, you know, like for wine storage. And so here we have, this is our battery system. And I want you, so that blue lights, that means the battery is almost full. And we've been having, the AC has been cranked all day, doors have been open, people have been using, you know, power tools, we've been using hot water. I mean, and the battery is still full going into the night. So, I mean, it's incredible. And, you know, so they're not going to have an electric bill for this house.
It's funny because when I was there, I was like, oh, we should shut the door because we're letting all the air out. But it doesn't work that way. You're not like running your electricity up by doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, you still, you know, you don't want to go too far with it, but it is nice that you don't really have to. I mean, as long as you keep an eye on that battery and make sure that you know, that it has enough power. Oh, and this was a really cool thing. So Teresa, the client, she wanted a blue ceiling, and like when you look at it against the sky, I don't know, it's a little tough to see. It's a yellower sky blue, and that apparently is to prevent hornets from nesting. Like wasps and hornets don't want to nest on a sky blue ceiling, I guess. So it's super cool. And then here you got to see some of the neighbors and like all the wood decks. So I think this is like kind of an interesting shot.
Yeah.
And you can just see like, you know, I mean, it's kind of triggering to me, you know, like see all these wood homes and these trees. But you know, this home, it's really, it's the safest home on the street now. And so anyways, I'll walk back upstairs and then if you guys have any questions about what you just saw, I'd be happy to answer.
Oh, we're frozen for a minute.
And so here we are again. So is everybody, does anybody have any questions?
I don't see any questions. I think everyone's just excited about how much change they see from the last one.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing, I think, in this job, you really learn patience. And, you know, you understand that stuff takes a long time. And it's hard, you know, it's hard to see it, especially for you guys, you know, and it's scary, and we get that. And we really are here to help. And there's, you know, we can't change the laws of the universe. I mean, construction is construction. It is what it is. But we've softened up the edges a little bit, and we've made it a little bit easier to navigate for people. And so that's why we're here. And you know, so please reach out to us and start a conversation. And you know, we'll see if you know, if the Phoenix is right for you. We hope so.
We'll be having another webinar in 2 weeks on Monday, June 16th, and we're going to talk about net zero. So some of the cool stuff that we saw downstairs in that room, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of that, which is going to be exciting.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, well, I guess we'll just take off, and thank you, everybody. And please consider joining the Phoenix family. And if you already have, Karen, I see you there. Thank you. And, you know, we really do like to consider this a family. So this is our third Phoenix home, and, you know, all of these owners know each other, and it's kind of cool. So we want to make our family bigger. So please join us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Okay,
everybody.
bye-bye. Enjoy
Take
your
care.
Bye.
Lori,
Yeah,
do you want to stick around for just a minute?
sure.
We're gonna jump off and then jump back on, or?